Hello, everyone. My name is Tina Melo. I used to be married at one point and lived in Germany, and my name was Tina Kufner. That was or Kufner, the way the Americans pronounce it. Anyways, I have been meaning to do this video. Now it's definitely something I need to do. I want to let you know that I'm not only a designer and a teacher, but before, back in when I had my first children, I started getting into medicine. Medicine that people in Germany, families and moms and parents that I was around at the time, we were doing research because it was our first time as parents. So apparently my son Matthias, my second, was born with a lot of illnesses. And he seemed to be, they vaccinated him or gave him antibiotics the first 3 days of his life. And from that point on, he was sick, constantly sick. And this is why I went down this journey, because we always have a reason of why we have the information we have and how we learned it. It's because something happens in your life that makes you go down the path to do research to try to solve the problem. So ever since he was given antibiotics the first 3 days that he was born, he was nonstop having problems with throat, ears, nose. I mean, it was just constant battling a sickness that it was like around the clock. And so this doctor, and I will show you right now, because of course I have everything. His name was Dr. Felko. Now this is it. This is the actual documentation, and I'm going to read it, okay? Now, this doctor was a doctor that my ex-husband found. His name was Dr. Oscar Felko. He was in Munich, and he recommended, I was giving medicine to my son, who was like less than a year old already, all these things. It was called Suprax. Okay, it was Muscle Solvan cough syrup, 3.7 milliliters, 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. The Suprax was 5 milliliter in the morning and in the evening. Then Arbide, which was like this nose spray, and that was 30 times, morning, noon, and night. Then Nazavine, now that's another spray, and that was in the morning, afternoon, and night. And then Florex Augentropfen, which is 2 drops in each eye, morning, noon, and night. And then Trosprumian inhalator. Okay, so, and then of course blue lighting. I mean, this became so outrageous after a while, and it pained me to see my son suffering. I mean, it was just, I was like a full-time nurse, and I said, I kept saying, your remedy is not working. My son is not getting better. He just keeps getting sick. After the last one, of course, antibiotics, and then of course, I'm going, well, I don't understand. What you're doing is not making him better. It just weakens his immune system, and it keeps keeping him on a cycle of being sick. So then I started getting sick. So then we have bronchitis, bacterial infection, catarrh, ears, nose, and throat. Everything to do. So basically, and a machine for breathing, steaming in the room. So you get to a point where you're like, okay, this doctor, this medicine, it just keeps, I heard about the immune system and how it lowers your immune system. So when the next virus comes around, your immune system's not able to protect yourself. So every time you hit yourself with antibiotics, it kills your immune system. So then if you're around anything or anyone or they release something, you're definitely going to catch whatever it is. I mean, your body is already not back to where it is. So here we go. Then finally, I have some great friends, Tina Shelley, and great parents in Munich that don't do the modern medicine that my ex-husband was so trained to use. So they brought me to Dr. Nadam, an Ayurvedic doctor who comes from India, and a person named Ginger who was a practitioner. Now there you really have to know your chakras, Pitta, Kapha, and Vata. So of course I come in, get an appointment with me, my sons, both sons, Joseph and Matthias. I'm going, okay, got an issue here. Nothing is working. It's already 3 years in. So now on the 5th, the 27th of May, no, the 5th, it's German's backwards always. Okay, so on the May 27, 2003, here's my Ayurvedic day that I went to the first Ayurvedic practitioner. It's all in German. And I was living in Hohenbrunnerweg, and there was some really beautiful people there. Of course, yeah, that is a very elite location there. So right away, they said, our immune system is shot. Everything's out of balance. So what the Indians do best is they have been given 35 million years of medical industry healing knowledge. And what the Chinese did is they went over to India back in centuries ago, and they learned from the Indians. They took it back to China, which acupuncture actually is Indian, not Chinese, but the Chinese know how to market it and called it their own. But in reality, the Chinese took all of the Indian knowledge, brought it back, marketed it, and made it their own. So they copycat because they don't know how to create things on their own. Sorry. Anyways, that's where I learned, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start teaching you guys what I've learned. So here's Dr. Nadam. He's been our doctor. So this is the reason why I know all this, since I've been doing it since 2003. When I found out that my son, that he wanted to give cortisone to my son Matthias, who was breaking out in hives, and he had a fever of over 106, and I was panicking one night, and I know that he happened to be in Munich that day. I called him, and this Dr. Felko wanted me to give him cortisone depositories versus ghee. This is like, it's purified butter. I mean, it's just purified butter. And I remember having a conversation. I'm panicking at this point because I have a cortisone capsule here. I have the Dr. Nadam on the phone saying, Tina, calm down. Just put the ghee all over your son's body. And he's in the bathtub at this point. I've got this little baby in a bathtub. Now, cortisones, I've already given it to him before. He repeated with the scarlet fever. It's called scarlet fever. He's already had it 3 times. So Dr. Nadam said, just try it. There's nothing you can do. Just try it. Just try it. Before you put the cortisone suppository in his popo, just try it. So I grabbed some ghee. I started rubbing it on his body while he was crying. I mean, you have no idea how awful it is to be a mother, and your child who you have unconditional love for is suffering, and you're by yourself. Of course, you're always with your children by yourself while your husbands are traveling, and you just feel so helpless. So I put the ghee all over his body, and then you would not believe. I mean, it was like a miracle. It was like Jesus. Jesus knew all the herbal things. They all thought it was a miracle worker, but what he was trying to do is show you have the power to cure yourself or others when you have the knowledge to what to use for what purpose and when. So I put the ghee on my son Matthias all over his body, and then suddenly all those little red spots from scarlet fever suddenly just disappeared. I swear to God. I was like, I couldn't believe it. And then he stopped crying, and it was done. I was like, I can't believe it. It's just butter. And you're thinking, okay, to cure yourself, you need to like go to a doctor, get prescription, get medicine. Nature is our medicine. We are our own doctors. We know our body more than anyone. Okay, so the only thing what this teaches us, especially now, because now the subject is really here in front of our faces, is that whatever you put into your body, they treat our bodies like trash cans. We consume whatever they produce and we don't ask questions. So here is one for a story of many, because I'm going to go through other things that I do, like the recipes and stuff that I've been slowly giving to friends over the years. I mean, people that were suffering and kept going to the doctors, I told them try this, and then guess what? They called me back and said, Tina, oh my God, it was gone in like 3 days. So I do know what I'm talking about, okay? Happen to be doing this for a long time, and I think maybe now it's something that I should share. So ghee, this definitely has to be in your kitchen. It's just, you can even just make it at home. You don't have to buy it. You get butter, you put it on a stove, you do it really low, because then all of a sudden the fat rises. You skim it, but don't burn it. Be careful. I've done it a few times. Skim it and then put it through a cheesecloth or some kind of cloth to keep the fat from going. So it should be pure yellow. Okay, and then you put it in a glass, cover it, store it. Even the older it is, the more, oh God, the more powerful it becomes. So this is not something you put in the refrigerator to keep it out. Well, when you do it at home, I think you might be able to, but I checked on that. So anyways, so between that, I want to tell you about what everyone does to cleanse and detox your body, okay? It's called the mung dal. The mung dal soup is what Dr. Nanam puts everyone on right away, because what happens is it balances your chakra. Chakra is Pitta, which is fire. Vata is air. Kapha is more bulky, oily. So people that are overweight, it's because their kapha level is so high. And guess what? These are all in books. I mean, there's so many books on Ayurvedic medicine. And whenever you have an illness, it means that one of those three are out of balance. So if you cut down on certain foods, like me, I had this mouth issue that wouldn't go away for like a year. And that's why another reason why I went to go seek, I was constantly seeking a way to cure my son, and then also me. So I had like a huge canker sore. It was like, maybe Oktoberfest, who knows? But I couldn't even drink water. It would hurt. My mouth would be a one gigantic canker sore. It was like inside, outside, everywhere. So found out that my Pitta, which is fire, was too high. So I was told to cut down on tomatoes. Anything tomatoes. Oh my God, I can't eat tomatoes because that's too acidic. It would just raise that up on me. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of things that people suffer from, it is not a virus. It's what you're consuming. And trust me, I was eating healthy in Munich. We weren't getting chemtrails and we weren't getting sprayed. So why do I have this thing in my mouth? It's because my body is different from your body. And everybody's body's different. So we can't be all put into one big pot and say, this is the medicine that's going to cure everything. That's insanity, and it's stupidity, and it lacks common sense. All our bodies, DNA are not even the same. We don't look the same.